was going to cover some news for you guys today, and then it dawned on me, holy crap, today is the very beginning of James Gunn's reboot of the DC superhero universe, and most people probably have no idea it's even happening. And many of you might be saying, well, I thought that was beginning with a new Superman movie that's coming out over the summer, but you would be wrong. It is actually beginning with a new television show premiering on Max called Creature Commandos. I've seen the first 2 episodes, and I'm here to let you know how it connects to this DC universe and if it's worth you checking out. Now, as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and then give us the comments, the likes, and visit criticalist.com. We're an entertainment reviewing social platform where you can review movies and television shows and just hang out with some friends, make lists, join groups, do all that kind of stuff that you like, but in a platform surrounded around entertainment. And I'll be featuring some of the site today while I'm talking about Creature Commandos. So let's go ahead and get into what is going on with this show. Like I said, many of you might not even know that this was happening or that it was connected to what James Gunn is doing with the DC universe, but most people do know that the DC universe as we know it is being completely rebooted. We're not getting Henry Cavill or Ezra Miller as the Flash or these other characters that we've become very familiar with, like Aquaman and Wonder Woman. This is a whole new version of this universe, but with some exceptions, because we are actually getting carryovers from other things from that universe, and to no surprise, it's the things that James Gunn was involved in. So this show, Creature Commandos, is actually an animated television show, like I said, premiering on Max, and it's going to be coming out on a weekly release date. We have 2 episodes that have come out so far that launched today, and then there will be more from week to week. And I have seen the first 2. What the overview for Creature Commandos is it states that it follows the exploits of the Creature Commandos, a secret team of incarcerated monsters recruited for missions deemed too dangerous for humans. When all else fails, they're your last hope, worst option. So basically, the whole thing here is that these Creature Commandos, these monsters, are basically just the Suicide Squad. It's the Suicide Squad with monsters, and actually James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie is not this one, not this Suicide Squad film. We don't talk about this one. His film was The Suicide Squad, and The Suicide Squad came out back in 2021 to pretty good results. A lot of people liked it a lot, and I thought it was great. I really, in all honesty, love everything that James Gunn has done up to date, and James Gunn, if you don't know, really got his big boom from doing the Guardians of the Galaxy films. I love the first 2 movies. They're among 2 of my favorite films of all time, and I think the third one was pretty good, and then he's been tied to a whole lot of other things since then, like, and even before then, which was the Scooby-Doo movies, which he wrote, the live-action ones, and he's really just been a part of nerd and geekdom culture for a long time, so people were very excited to know that he was tied in with this show. But basically, the whole deal is that he is creating Creature Commandos, and this is the jump starting of his universe, and it is going to tie in some things from that world, and from the previous world of the DC universe. And the Suicide Squad actually gets a mention and a tie over from characters, so it very clearly instantly connects to this film in the show, along with Peacemaker as well, and there are some carryovers from characters and things from that. If you didn't see it, that show actually went over really well, and so far is being reviewed pretty well on Criticalist. I thought it was great and had a lot of fun with it. Now, with Creature Commandos, it is animated, and that is a total departure from what we know about these connected universes. If you look at things like Marvel and these other worlds that other studios are building, they typically don't tie in with animated things. But James Gunn is like, look, it could be animated, it could be all sorts of things, it could be rated R, or it could be rated G. If the story is there to tell, and if it's good, we're going to tell it. And I think that that's honestly a pretty good approach, but it is going to make it a tightrope walk, because when you're connecting these things, you might have something rated R that your adults are going to see, but then something rated G that's more for the kids that are never going to see the R-rated thing. So how are they all going to tie in together? I have no idea. Time will tell, but this show is absolutely rated R, so do not show your kids. This is not for young people. It's quite graphic and very much a James Gunn product, and if you've seen anything else that James Gunn has done in the past, then you'll know that the guy can be very gritty gritty and edgy, but he can also do things like Guardians of the Galaxy, which ride the edge, ride that line pretty well without going too overboard. This is very much on the mature rating side, and when I review this after making this video, a lot of these things are going to be not catered towards children, like the violence, which there is a ton of, and with the nudity and sexual content, which, believe it or not, there is a ton of. I think there are 3 sets of animated boobs in this in the first 2 episodes, which is an interesting approach from him. And then with family friendliness, obviously it is not, but entertainment value is quite high. I am having a lot of fun with this show. I'm not totally blown away yet, but I do think it's worth watching. But like I said, it's going to depend on what you're into and the audience here, because it is an adult animated show, and it is kind of weird because it's monsters, and I love this kind of stuff. If I was to ask for something that I wanted in the DC universe, it would be something like this. I mean, I have a freaking Swamp Thing tattoo on my leg, so I love the weird and strange, especially when it comes to the superhero universe. Now, with this show, I've had fun so far, but I will give one complaint that I did have, and it's right when the show kicks off, and it's with these individuals right here. Now, basically, James Gunn decided to kick off the show with almost a little bit of a political statement here, being that the villain of the show, which actually connects to Wonder Woman and the Wonder Woman side of the DC universe, so that has already been alluded to and is clearly going to be happening in his DC universe, but basically, it alludes to Themyscira, and one of the Wonder Woman villains is the villain of this show currently, at least. And partnered with this villain is basically the Proud Boys. Yeah, you heard me right. It's the Proud Boys, and there actually is even a mention of wokeness involving these guys and feminism, and so that kind of rubbed me a little the wrong way in the very beginning, because I'm just like, oh no, please don't get political, James Gunn. Don't, like, you're going to push away a lot of your audience instantly, and they even reference these guys as being dangerous clowns, and I'm just like, oh my God, eye roll. But that seems to be the primary lean into these guys and what he's doing with them, so hopefully he won't lean any harder into it. It did in the very beginning just make me kind of groan and roll my eyes, because the whole thing with James Gunn has been he's a little complex with his political stuff, because he does lean more towards the quote-unquote, I don't even like to use the term, but woke side of things, but at the same time with his actual filmmaking and things he creates, it's very much not in line with pandering with woke stuff. I mean, like I said, there's 3 sets of animated boobs in this show, and they're from sexy, curvy, attractive women, which is not on par with towing the line for the whole woke culture filmmaking. So he intrigues me, and we'll see where this goes. Hopefully he won't get too much more political, but it was an interesting approach. But as far as the art, I think this show looks pretty good. It's a classically animated show that has nice clean lines and colors, and it looks and feels really good, and I think that he understands what people want from animated shows. The voice acting is really good as well. One thing that I did want to mention really quickly is the action. Now, James decided to wait until basically the end of the 2nd episode to really dish out the action, which I think he typically does very well, and I wanted to see what he could do with animated action and how he plays these characters and how strong they are and just how interesting they are with fighting. So far, we have really only seen the Bride, or the Bride of Frankenstein, fight, and she's freaking awesome. There is a fight scene that she does that is epic. She really kicks ass. Like, I am in love with this character so far. I think that she is really cool, and I'm excited to see where he goes with the fighting of the other characters. We actually do see Dr. Phosphorus fight a little bit as well, and it was pretty cool. And I mean, I do think that he's doing a good job with the action with the little bit that we got teased in episode 2, and I think it's really promising for where the show is going to go in the future. So far, I'm pleased. I think this is a very solid show that people are going to be interested in, and I think it's worth checking out if you are curious about the future of the DC universe and what James Gunn is doing. This is very much a James Gunn show and is on par with the types of things he has done in the past that are more adult-centric, but I think that it is promising for the future of what he is doing, and I'm excited to see more episodes. I don't think it's the best thing in the world yet, but I do think that it's good, and it's a very solid adult animated show, and that's about all I can ask for. And as long as he doesn't get more political or, just get cheesy with his writing, which he typically doesn't. He's a good writer. I think that he does a pretty good job. And if he's able to build out more of this universe, then I'm excited. I love DC, and I would love to see them get on the right track and see the fans be happy with what he's doing. And everybody seems to be a little bit hesitant right now. But I'm excited for this. I would say to check out these 2 episodes and let me know down in the comments below what you thought of them after you see them. And then most importantly, drop your review for the show in Criticalist once you've checked it all out. I typically recommend doing that after seeing all 7 episodes. But I'm started kind of doing this thing where I'll drop an earlier review and then update as it goes along, so you could do that as well. But definitely drop your reviews, let me know in the comments down below, and then, like I said, hit that subscribe button to the channel if you want to keep up to date on everything that is new in the film industry that's happening, whether it be movies coming out or news. And I will actually be dropping another review tomorrow, so that's going to be 3 reviews this week, which will be a record for me. I haven't fully decided which new film I'm going to see though yet, but it might be the new horror comedy film Y2K, because it looks ridiculous and it's retro, like, early 2000s themed, which is obviously my bag, and I grew up during the time, so I'm interested in it. But do all that, guys, and I will see you back here again for my review tomorrow. Everybody take it easy. See you next time.